Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. And today we're going to take an in-depth look at deprogramming your implicit biases. Before we get into it, remember to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Implicit bias is something we're hearing about quite a bit right now. So before we go into how to deprogram your implicit biases, let's define what we mean by implicit bias. So implicit bias is an unconscious or subconscious attitude or belief that affects how you treat and interact with others in your world. Unconscious or non-conscious means you don't consciously know that you hold these attitudes and you didn't consciously choose to program yourself with these beliefs. You didn't pick and incorporate these beliefs into your mindset. These beliefs operate at the subconscious level, and they're usually inherited from your family, your community, or your culture in the first 7 years of your life. So, because of these unconscious attitudes, these unconscious stereotypes that you hold, you unintentionally behave in ways that are prejudiced or intolerant. You indirectly express these prejudices in various contexts, and they inform your decision. Which seat you choose at a restaurant, how closely you stand to someone, who you choose to interact with at a social gathering and who you choose to ignore, which neighbors you choose to greet and interact with and which you ignore, are all informed by these unconscious beliefs. And you essentially judge others based on a variety of appearances. So whether it's race, ability, gender, physical appearance, or clothing choices, or body composition, culture, or even the language that they speak, you have these automatic judgments that arise within you underneath the surface of your conscious awareness, and that then inform how you behave and interact with these individuals. Now, let's look at all of this from the neurophysiological standpoint. You have neurons that automatically fire when you see or hear about someone of a particular race, ability, gender, physical appearance, culture, or who speaks a certain language. You have a specific physiology that you engage. You have a specific set of muscles you relax or contract, and that automatic neurophysiological response ensures that you behave in a specific way, that you have specific types of thought currents, that you have a specific type of emotional response, and that you have a specific type of physical response in relation to this person that you see or hear about. Your focus, your posture, your tone of voice all adjust based on these unconscious assumptions that you hold. You change yourself in that moment. It's an involuntarily activated response or reaction. These automatic neurological associations and physiological changes are driven by a specific neural cluster in your brain and a specifically memorized physiology that you formed in childhood. Here is the great news about your biology and neurology. You can change these programs. You can change whatever programmed implicit bias that you hold on any subject, in any area of your life, in any relational dynamic. You have a physical body that is regenerating itself daily. Millions of cells are dying and millions of cells are being created each and every day. You have a neurology that is malleable, that is neuroplastic. And you can leverage that to change and transform any unconscious program that doesn't benefit you and those around you. You start by making the unconscious conscious, by making the implicit, the hidden, the covert, explicit, by becoming aware of what's really there in the background. Self-awareness is the starting point of making the unconscious conscious. You have the ability to observe yourself. Through open-ended questions, you can ask yourself and daily observe yourself for a period of time. You can check to see where you behave with some level of intolerance in your life, at home, in your community, at work, while you're watching the news, while you're listening to conversations in your neighborhood. You can check to see where you're running a judgmental current of thinking. And you can check to see if that's directed at specific groups or types of people. So you can ask yourself open-ended questions. Where do I behave with some level of intolerance in my life? At home, in my community, at my work. Where do I run a judgmental current of thinking? Is this directed at specific groups or types of people? When you start to self-observe through open-ended self-inquiry like this, you'll start to see the mismatch between what you desire to consciously believe, how you consciously prefer to be, and the implicit bias-driven automatic behaviors that you exhibit day in and day out. From that self-awareness, you can make a change. Deprogramming unconscious programs always starts with self-awareness and self-observation. You can rewire yourself. Your neuroplastic brain can generate new neurons, and it is constantly forming new connections. Learning new things automatically helps you form new connections in your brain. Read books and watch programs that expose you to new perspectives and different points of view. When you do this, you are forming new neural connections in your brain and creating new and alternative pathways for your brain to activate. Instead of continuing to fire the old connections holding the old assumptions and stereotypes, you form competing neural networks that hold information that reflect who you consciously choose to be and who you consciously prefer to be in the world. You have countless ways in which you can change your current neural structuring. Decades of research have shown how meditation and mindfulness can help you change your existing neural landscape. You can prune the old connections that held the implicit bias and form new connections based on the conscious values that you hold. You can unlock the synaptic connections holding those unconscious attitudes and clear them and their effect from your life. It takes practice and your willingness to engage with yourself in a self-transformative way. Commit to a consistent practice, and you will witness your own internal orientation towards others in your world change. Your energy changes. Your felt experience of who you are in the world and how you relate to others changes. You'll have a felt sense of congruency between who you choose to be in the world and how you actually behave in the world. That congruency between your conscious self-image and your automatic behaviors will also create a deep sense of peace within yourself because you no longer have programs running and driving you that are contradictory to who you envision yourself to be in the world. And it doesn't take years and decades to do this. With conscious effort, you can deprogram yourself in a matter of weeks or a few months and strengthen the perspectives that you choose to embody. I hope you enjoyed and appreciated looking at implicit bias from this perspective. If you found this helpful, please feel free to like and share this post with your friends and community. And I'll see you guys in my next post. Until then, stay in your power.